What is your plan B if nobody marries you? Like, what is your plan B?
If your husband, child, and you find out it's true, what are you going to do?
The man will definitely be reported.
Yeah.
But that does not feel that I will divorce my husband. I want you to get that fact.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amomi, aka Petite Diva, and in this video we are discussing a particular video that triggered a lot of women. Now, this guy came online and was asking women that what is their plan B if they don't get married.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you? Like, what is your plan B? Not to be funny, but what is your next step if you never get married? You see, a lot of people, their life revolves around marriage. Who's going to marry me? Finding the right one, right? Being married, having kids, and all these beautiful things. But what if it never happens? What is your plan B for your happiness? Because if marriage is your happiness, and that's the ultimate goal, right? Having kids is the ultimate goal. Having a house and a big family with that picket fence and that dog is your ultimate goal. What is your plan B if that never happens? If that never happens, if you never get married. Now I want you to ask yourself that question. What is my plan B if nobody marries me? If I never get married, right? Does that determine my happiness, my value, my substance, who I am? Like, think about that. What is your plan B if you never get married? If you never find happiness in someone else? If someone never compliments your vibe, your energy, who you are or where you want to go, right? What is your plan B if all of that fails?
Now, like I said, the video got a lot of women triggered, and so many women had things to say about his statement, his question, and his video.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you? Like, what is your plan B?
I would love to know who decided marriage was plan A. Like, what council decided marriage had to be plan A, specifically for women? Nobody ever asks a man this. Nobody ever asks a man, what are you going to do if a man doesn't want to marry you or a woman doesn't want to marry you? Nobody ever asks a man that. How come the question's only ever asked to women? A man is not a plan. So why are we assuming marriage is plan A? Marriage isn't even part of the plan for some of us. It's not even on the table. Why are we still stuck in this whole, what are you going to do if nobody loves you, if nobody marries you? Live my best life like I've been doing.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you? Like, what is your plan B?
What is your plan B if no one wants you? No, I'm not being a jerk. I'm just like, we don't need a fucking plan B. We don't have to get married. I mean, I've done it 3 times. Clearly, I don't have a problem. Although the first 2 times, they were not the best for me. And those were poor choices on my part. But what's your plan B, dude? What you got going? And my husband and I are staying together till death. He is absolutely my best friend. He is the mind reader that I never thought existed. And he totally gets my sick and twisted sense of humor. So, once he passes, if he passes before me, I'm not dating because it's gross.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you?
That is plan A. There is no plan B.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you?
I am so glad you asked. So for the time being, just keep doing what I do. And then once my sweet baby boy grows up and goes to college and leaves me, then the plan is a beautifully renovated 5th wheel and a really big truck. And then me and a golden doodle named Albus Doodledore will go travel around the country for however many years it takes for my best friend's husband to kick the bucket. And then she'll come with me. And we will travel the country as crazy old ladies, causing as much chaos as we can get away with, until she becomes completely goo-goo gaga, and we have to switch to a nursing facility. That's the plan.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you?
to marry my goddamn self. I be really thinking about marrying a man as a gift. It's really not. It's really not. I really ain't nothing but a headache. A headache. Don't get me started, because when you had kids, he like another kid. Another fucking kid. Like, Jesus Christ. I'm gonna keep focused on my money like I've been doing, baby. Hustle hard like a hustler do. You know what I'm saying? Maybe go back to school, get that education. Keep paying my bills like I've been doing, you know what I'm saying? Make a call every now and then if I need my, yeah. But you gotta go. No overnights here, bitch. Just live out happy and peaceful life, you feel me? Because I refuse to motherfucking settle.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you?
Well, you see, honestly, I don't have a plan B, because obviously I'm gonna get married someday, so I don't know about me, but I'm gonna get married, I'm definitely gonna.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you? Like, what is your plan B?
Okay, so I'm pretty sure my plan B was getting married. Plan A was to become successful, have things for myself, be able to travel, create a retirement, and create the life that I want to live so I can be a whole person before I marry someone. I think using marriage as plan A is probably why divorce is so high. Plan A should be understanding what you need as a person, creating what you need, and being a whole person before you join with someone else. Plan A shouldn't be being dependent upon someone else to fulfill your life goals or to fulfill you as a human. Don't get me wrong, partnership is amazing. I think the concept of marriage is amazing, but the concept of marriage shouldn't be something that fulfills you. It should be something that enhances you. Part of the problem today is that people go into marriage not understanding how to be a complete person. I could be wrong on that. But as someone who has never been married but has enjoyed several long-term relationships, I have to say my plan A includes me traveling 3 to 4 times a year without having to get anyone's buy-in, permission, or willingness to go. My plan A includes me being able to go purchase something because I want to purchase it without having to think about someone else. Plan A has always allowed for me to make whatever decision I feel like is best at the time for me. Again, don't get me wrong, having a partner in life is a great thing, but it's not the end-all be-all. It's not what's going to make me whole. And at the end of the day, as much as we would like to think when we marry someone that they're going to be there forever, we all know that that's not always true. We all know that they're not always going to be there for our kids. We all know that they're not always going to be the person that supports us, unfortunately. Not bitter, not angry, nothing. I'm not. I'm very much the person that feels like being independent isn't a plan B. Being independent is what develops you for the person you marry, what develops you for the person that you spend the rest of your life with. It's what makes you able to survive if that plan A didn't work out. It's what enables you to not need a plan B, because plan A is you.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you?
I understand where he was trying to go with this. But I just want to ask, when did why is marriage plan A in the first place? At one point in my life, I looked at marriage as an accomplishment, and now I look at it as something people just do and not everybody is good at. My life story won't be any less compelling, won't be any less significant, right? Won't be any less impactful or beautiful or meaningful, whatever, because I'm not married. It just means that I'm not married. I wish that we as a society could completely get away from the idealism around marriage. Marriage is not fantasy. Marriage is not a wedding. Marriage is not the reception. Marriage is work. And I think that some people genuinely believe that they're ready to do the work. And in actuality, they're not. They don't even come with the tools. They're not equipped. I think a lot of people gauge the success of their life based on whether or not they got married, they had the dog, the house, the kids. And I really wish we could get away from that.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you?
Who are you talking to, the women or the men? I mean, who's this question for? Because the women are going to be just fine. It's the men I'm worried about. I mean, They're the one who started this whole marriage thing.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you?
That's my plan A. That's my plan A. Been there, done that. On the other side, grass is greener. The grass is fabulous, honestly. I love the grass here. It's fantastic. I will be chilling on this side for the foreseeable future. Plan A.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you?
I find it absolutely hilarious that you guys created a system in which your worth is determined by how well you can provide in a marriage or in a relationship financially, without you having to put any sort of emotional intelligence or effort into that relationship. And now that there's a rise in women not wanting to deal with that shit and thriving when they're fucking single instead, you are projecting that fear of your worthlessness and the reality that you really have no fucking purpose onto them. When y'all learn how to fucking navigate feelings and learn how to grow the fuck up, come back to us.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you?
There's no plan B, it's plan A. There's nothing wrong with being unmarried, happy, and independent.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you?
I've been married for almost 7 years, but marriage wasn't a plan. It was a choice, a possibility, something that may or may not happen for me. And then I surprised myself by getting married at 26. And I love my husband. I love our son. I love our life. But I didn't need a plan B if I didn't get married. I needed a plan B the day that I signed that marriage license, because I need a plan B if my husband leaves me or, God forbid, suddenly dies or becomes disabled. I need a plan B for our son, because now there's 3 people to worry about instead of 2. I need a plan B in case the weight of the world puts so much strain on our marriage that it pulls us apart. I need a plan B in case our values diverge and we no longer fit together. Because when you merge 2 lives like that, it is incredibly hard to disentangle them and everything can crumble in an instant. Me, myself, and I, we didn't need a plan B. Me, myself, and I have a perfect understanding. And unfortunately, a lot of married women see so much security in marriage that they don't come up with that plan B, because the biggest scam of the patriarchy is convincing married women that they don't need a plan B and convincing unmarried women that they do.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you?
I think a lot of people get so triggered on this app because they're afraid of, if they ask themselves the question, they are horrified of what the answer will be. As far as I'm concerned, what would I do? I mean, this is my life. I'm content. It is what it is. If somebody great comes along, awesome. But I'm happy right here. But I do think that a lot of, especially women, need to ask themselves the questions that they're afraid to ask. What if my husband were to leave me? What if something were to happen to one of my kids and they were disabled and they needed lifelong care? What if I never got pregnant? What if I wasn't able to afford IVF or adoption? What if I lose my job? What if something happens to my husband and he, passes away or loses his job? We need to ask, and I'm not saying walk around just, worried like a big ball of nerves. Trust me, I worry enough for all of you guys. You're fine. But I think a lot of us need to make a plan and to not just blindly, haphazardly walk into something. And it's like, I get it. You might be married right now and you love your husband and he is an amazing man, but people be peopling. People could be going one course and wake up one day and be like, I don't like this so much, and then go a totally opposite direction and do something totally different. Over the years, I left an abusive marriage in 2008, and I've been to shelters, group meetings, I've talked to people. I cannot tell you how many women I've met who are happily married, just like you, and their husband woke up one day and said, I can't do this anymore, and peaced out. I cannot tell you how many women have made their whole life's mission to have a child, and then they didn't plan for having a child with a permanent disability. How many women centered their life around finding a mate, and then that relationship didn't work out and they wound up getting divorced? You center your life around finding someone and then it doesn't happen. And it's probably not going to happen. It's no guarantee. If you come across a video and it triggers you, It's because there's some truth in there to that. You need to be willing to ask yourself the what if questions when it comes to serious things in life, because this is your life. You have to suffer the consequences if some shit hits the fan. If you can't be honest for a second about the possibility that something could go wrong, you have on rose-colored glasses. Take them off.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you? Like, what is your plan B?
People that really know me wholeheartedly knows that I love the idea of having a family and getting married. Let's keep it a buck. Marriage and children should add to your happiness that you already have. I tell myself, if I don't have a child, if I don't get married, hey, it just wasn't in the cards for me. And if I do end up having children, and if I do end up getting married, then cool, that means that it was meant for me. And that adds to my happiness. Let me ask you a question. What does your life look like? Are you happy? Do you have discipline? Are you financially stable? Do you have a foundation to stand on individually? Another question. You better learn who you with before you love that person. A lot of times we fall in love with people that we don't even know. So don't let your parents, society, romantic novels and movies, fear of getting older make you think that you need to have children and get married to ultimately be happy. Work on yourself. Learn the person that you are going to potentially fall in love with. And if you have children, you won't have to build love around a baby. You'll build the baby around love. Take care.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you? Like, what is your plan B?
It was never plan A. Ever. Neither was kids.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you? Like, what is your plan?
I don't know, maybe finding like a sugar daddy or like 20 and never have to work in my life and live a lavish life.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you?
Now, who told him that being married and having kids is every woman's plan A?
You see, a lot of people, their life revolves around marriage. Marriage is your happiness, and that's the ultimate goal, right? Having kids is the ultimate goal. Having a house and a big family with that picket fence and that dog is your ultimate goal. What is your plan B if nothing, if that never happens?
Not every woman sees it as her dream to be a man's wife and the mother of his children. That doesn't make her spoiled. That doesn't make her selfish any more than it makes a man who isn't a husband or a father yet. Not every woman judges the quality of her life according to her relationship status. There are plenty of women who are married with children and miserable. It is the married people that are keeping the women single. They see what it's like after years of watching this man weaponize his incompetence, the toll it's taking on you, and they don't want that life for themselves. So they're not going to be guilt-tripped. They're not going to feel like, is something wrong with me that no man has chosen me? No, these women have chosen themselves. Being a man's wife and somebody's mother is not every woman's plan A. Being happy should be her plan A. Videos like this are never directed towards men. They never make a man feel like his life has been wasted if he's not a husband or a father, but they lay it on thick for the women. What are you doing? You're what? You're 35, no kids. 35, never married. No one has chosen you. Chosen? No. They chase, we choose.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you? Like, what is your plan B?
I'm just going to sit out here on my beautiful patio with my dog, eating Doritos.
What is your plan B if nobody marries you?
That wasn't even my plan A, so. Yeah, I'm good.
A lot of women were saying that getting married is not their plan A, that it was never their plan A. There was a particular woman who is married that said because she's married and she has kids, she now has to think of plan B. That when she was alone, she never had to think of any plan B. Now she has to have plan B because she's married, because she was talking about the fact that anything could happen to her husband. They could get divorced, he could be disabled, he could, God forbid, die. And she also talked about the fact that she also has to worry about her child, that what will happen if anything happens to her or happens to the husband, or if the child has issues in future. Now, people were like, why is it asking women about this question? And it got people really triggered, like I said. But personally, I feel like this is a discussion that has to be had. There's a question that has to be asked, because even though a lot of people will say, a lot of women will say that getting married and having kids is not their plan A, it's still the only plan that some women have, a lot of women have. And I think it's necessary that this conversation is had. Because like I said, some women getting married and having kids is the only plan they have in their life. It's the only purpose they see in their life. So when it does not happen at the time they expect, they begin to get anxious, they begin to get stressed up, they begin to do a lot of things just to get married, just to have kids. Like if they get married at the time they want, or eventually get married, if they don't have kids early or the time that they want, they get stressed up and everything, because that's all they are taught about what their life should look at. And I know a lot of people are doing the whole decentering men and the rest, but it is only possible if your circumstances or your environment allows it. And what I mean by that is that for a lot of African countries, let me say Nigeria, it is expected that at a particular age or age period or age range that a woman is supposed to be married, she's supposed to have children. And there's a lot of pressure. Like if you begin to act in a way that you don't want to get married or you are not interested, there's a lot of talk, counseling, things, even side talk and all kinds of things that you would be talking about some things, and people would want to not listen to you because they say this person is not married. Now, personally, I'm way past the age that people think women should get married, and I get a lot of, when are you getting married? You are not young. Do you want to get married? All sorts of counseling. God will help you. God will bring the person and everything and everything. And I know I get some side talks as well. There's some face-to-face talks and there's some side talks. But I've had a situation where I was talking to someone who is my subordinate, and I was telling the person to do something, and the person was acting up. And that situation, I was like, is it because the person is married and I'm not married, and she feels like I'm not supposed to talk to a married woman like that? And I'm like, first of all, I'm older. Second of all, in the hierarchy of position, I am way above you. So I don't get, if you like being married, if you like have 3 children, in this establishment, I outrank you on all levels. And I was like, that kind of thing kind of just threw me off. But I can be very, I don't know, when I get triggered. So I actually had that person transferred out of my establishment to the other branch because I could not deal with that kind of nonsense. But the thing is, it happens a lot where some people would say you cannot have this conversation, you cannot tell me what to do because you're not married, you don't have kids or something like that. Like I said, I'm way past the age, but lately I was thinking about something and I realized that it's a good thing that I did not get married when I was younger, because a lot of people will talk about self-esteem and the rest. When I was younger, my self-esteem was bottom barrel. It was at the bottom. So I just feel like if I'd gotten married earlier, I would end up making the wrong choice. That's my personal opinion. So for me, I don't really think about what will happen if I don't get married or the rest, because I know that if it's going to happen, it will happen. If it's not going to happen, there's nothing I can do. I'm not going to start jumping from one thing to another. I know a lot of people do it, but I cannot do it because I don't want to have the same generational events that happened to my grandmother and my mom. That's one of the reasons why I'm very, very cautious, and I think that that's why God did not allow me to marry earlier, because I know for a fact that the same things that happened to them would have happened to me, because I'm my grandmother's granddaughter and I'm my mother's daughter, because I know that I have almost similar characteristics to them and I would have put up with a lot of things. Now I think I'm working on my self-esteem. I've said it in some other videos. I'm not there yet, but I'm way better than when I was younger. and I'm also working on my financial stability. So personally, I think it worked out for me. I don't know, maybe I'm being delulu, but I just feel like it worked out for me that I did not have to make a choice and end up with the wrong person. So now I'm looking forward to achieving my purpose in life. I'm looking forward to working towards a lot of goals and dreams, and just being the best I can be. And if I get married and have children, they will all align with the purpose. They will align. I will not have to give up anything. Everybody will align, and they will complement my efforts and also help me reach my purpose. So for that is what I believe in. Now I can afford to believe in it because I am stubborn, and I'm not in that situation where a lot of people are forcing me to get married. I think my mom is dead, my grandmother is dead. Those are the people that I would give up things for. Sometimes I actually think that maybe I should have gotten married early, and the only reason why I think that is because at least they would have seen me get married and have kids before they died. But it is what it is. But like I said, I'm in this situation where I don't think I'm under pressure. But some people are not like that. They don't have the option. Like everybody around them is like, if you don't get married, you're in trouble. If you don't do this, you're in trouble. If you don't do this, that. So they are really under pressure, and there might also be pressure from peers. Maybe you hear a lot of women saying that when their friends get married, they stop talking to them because they're saying you are single, we have nothing in common again. So those kind of things can put pressure on people, and like I said, environment and everything. Now if you are in an environment where you don't have that kind of pressure, yes, you would definitely get offended with his statement. But I feel like we're supposed to have this conversation, especially for those who don't have that plan B, you might say, and so that they don't get to a stage where they are so anxious and then they start having mental issues because of that. So some people will allow the fact that they are not married and everything to affect their career, affect their mental health, and also some people might end up in the wrong marriages and stay in wrong marriages because their whole mentality is, I must be married. I actually saw a video where an elderly woman said something that was disturbing.
A friend of mine was just because of beans, that the beans was not soft enough for a man to eat. I've experienced coma go 3 times. I'm telling you my life history.
You saw those signs. What happened? You were in love. You just ignored the signs. Continue ignoring the signs now.
There is no marriage without fights. Let us not deceive ourselves. This is a man that I know that, oh yes, he hates me, but yet he loves me.
If your husband loses your child and you find out it's true, what are you going to do?
The man will definitely be reported.
Yeah.
But that does not feel that I will divorce my husband. I want you to get that fact.
Now, in that video, she was talking about the fact that even if her husband assaults somebody, she will report, but she will not divorce the guy. And I'm like, whoa. And that person, I believe, is Nigerian. And the fact is, I don't want to shame Nigerians, shame us, but it happens. It happens because a lot of people think that being married is the be all and see all. So some people might be shocked that she actually made that statement, but it happens a lot. So that's why I'm not as offended as a lot of people because of that video, because I feel like that conversation needs to be held in a lot of countries, talking about Nigeria. But anyway, I don't know what you guys think about this whole conversation. Do you think what is said was outrageous, or do you think it's actually something that people need to discuss with themselves and also in the community? I would love to hear your thoughts about this whole situation, this whole topic. So please leave your comments in the comment section so that we can get this discussion popping. Now, if you like this video, please give it the thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, Please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.